For the first time in centuries, researchers have uncovered what's believed to be Jesus' tomb.
The historian Eusebius said he did it to cover the tomb where Jesus was buried.
Of marble on the top of what's believed to be Jesus' tomb has just been removed, and archaeologists are now analysing what's underneath it.
After centuries of searching across various locations, scientists have finally uncovered evidence pinpointing the location of Jesus' burial site. Within the tomb, they unearthed invaluable knowledge that may answer some of history's most enduring mysteries. Where is this tomb located, and what chilling secrets lie hidden within? Did they find Jesus' remains? Join us as we unveil the contents of Jesus' tomb and the profound impact this discovery could have on our beliefs. Recently, researchers made a groundbreaking discovery at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in the heart of Jerusalem. For years, this church has been a pilgrimage site for Christians worldwide, drawn to its revered significance. According to the stories in the New Testament, Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, often called the place of the skull. This spot, believed to be an old stone quarry outside the city walls, has a deep significance in Christian history. Around a decade after Jesus' death, a new wall was constructed enclosing the area where Jesus was crucified and buried within the city limits of Jerusalem. This explains why the Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands within the Old City today. Emperor Constantine I, who embraced Christianity, ordered the demolition of a temple dedicated to Venus in Jerusalem to make room for a church. During the demolition, workers uncovered a tomb believed to be that of Jesus. Pilgrims visiting the Church of the Holy Sepulchre would first ascend a staircase from the main street of Jerusalem, the Cardo. They then passed through various sections including a narthex, a basilica, and a sacred garden where the rock of Golgotha stood before reaching the Holy Sepulchre itself. Initially, the tomb carved into the rock was exposed to the elements, but later a small building was constructed to protect it. The entire complex was richly adorned, as described by Eusebius of Caesarea, a biographer of Constantine, as well as depicted in early 5th century artwork in Rome and on the Madaba mosaic map from the 6th century. Excavations in modern times have also shed light on its rich decorations. In the year 326, Constantine's mother, Saint Helena, embarked on a journey to Jerusalem, and has it that during her pilgrimage she stumbled upon what was believed to be the cross upon which Jesus was crucified, often referred to as the True Cross. The Tale of the Old. The True Cross's discovery became widely known by the early 5th century. By the 11th century, a cave beneath the ruins of the basilica gained fame as the chapel of the invention of the cross. In 614, tragedy struck when a Persian army razed the church to the ground and seized the True Cross. However, in 631, the Byzantine Emperor Heraclius managed to negotiate its return. Following the Arab conquest in 638, life for Christians in Jerusalem remained relatively peaceful initially, with tolerance prevailing. However, 3 centuries later, changes came about as the basilica's entrance was transformed into a mosque. Then, in 966, a devastating fire, which was ignited during anti-Christian protests, consumed the dome of the structure. In 1009, the destruction of the church was ordered by the zealous Fatimid Caliph al-Hakim. Nonetheless, the Byzantine Emperor Constantine IX Monomachos generously financed its reconstruction, but with alterations to its layout, including a new entrance on the south side, during the latter part of the 11th century. Remarkably, during much of this era, Muslim rulers in the city treated the pilgrims with kindness and respect. It was only after the Seljuk Turks took over Jerusalem in 1077 that rumors began to spread about Christian pilgrims facing mistreatment and being denied entry to the church. The desire to reclaim sacred sites, particularly the Holy Sepulchre, played a significant role in motivating the First Crusade, which took place between 1096 and 1099. Following the capture of Jerusalem by the Crusaders in 1099, eyewitness accounts describe how the surviving members of the journey prayed in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which was unusual because it lacked a roof at the time. For the next 50 years, the Church of Constantine IX Monomachos underwent extensive reconstruction. While its original layout remained intact, the church was transformed into a cathedral, modeled after Western churches. The gardens surrounding the church became the Crusaders' Basilica, and a separate chapel was dedicated to the rock of Golgotha. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre was rededicated on July 15, 1149, exactly 50 years after the First Crusade captured Jerusalem. This monumental discovery led to the creation of the edicule, a protective structure around the sacred space, preserving the essence of the divine revelation. The tale of Constantine's pursuit and the subsequent revelation of the tomb beneath the Roman temple symbolizes the complex relationship between history, faith, and the search for sacred relics. It's a story deeply ingrained in Christian memory, blending the temporal and spiritual aspects into a profoundly meaningful narrative. Within the sacred walls of the tomb, believed to hold the remains of Jesus Christ, one feature stands out: a long shelf often referred to as a burial bed. According to tradition, this is where the body of Jesus was tenderly laid after the crucifixion, inviting contemplation on the profound implications of that significant moment in Christian theo. Exploring the complex details of the tomb, we discover something fascinating: a similarity to the tombs of wealthy Jews living in Jerusalem during the 1st century. These tombs, carved from sturdy limestone caves, often featured shelves and niches. It's like they shared a common understanding of how to honor the departed, building these sacred spaces with a deep sense of respect. The burial bed isn't just a physical structure. It carries profound symbolism coupled with the spiritual story of Christianity. It represents the final resting place, silently bearing witness to events of great importance. As we study the details etched into the limestone, we feel a deep connection to the rich tale of Christian beliefs. A layer of history unfolds as we examine the marble covering the burial bed. This marble, believed to have been carefully placed no later than 1555, speaks to the passage of time. Yet historical clues hint that it might have been there even earlier, possibly dating back to the mid-1300s. Throughout history, accounts from pilgrims have echoed down the ages, offering us precious insights into the layers of time and enriching our understanding of the sacredness held within. Every chisel mark on the marble and each curve of the burial bed carries with it the whispers of centuries past. These details connect ancient times with today through the respect shown by pilgrims and believers. The tomb, with its special features, goes beyond mere physical space. It becomes a vessel carrying centuries of devotion and contemplation. It invites all who approach to connect with a narrative forever etched in stone. Now let's take a look at the scientific discoveries regarding the mortar found in Jesus' tomb. Exploring shocking ancient secrets, led by Chief Scientific Supervisor Antonio Maropolo, a team of scientists dated mortar samples taken from different parts of the edicule, the protective structure around the tomb. What they uncovered shocked the world. The mortar, a relic embedded with the history of architecture, became the focus of their investigation. By analyzing samples from various points within the edicule using radiocarbon dating, they sought to reveal the ancient secrets hidden within the mortar. The recent test results shed new light on the timeline of the edicule's construction. The discovery that the lower slab, a crucial part of the sacred structure, was likely cemented in place during the mid-4th century adds another layer of historical significance to this holy monument. Associating this construction work with Emperor Constantine's reign adds an important layer to the story, linking the edicule's beginnings with the influence of a key historical figure. The confirmation of Constantine's involvement in building the edicule holds deep meaning for scholars and historians focused on uncovering the mysterious history of this sacred place. The time frame of the mid-4th century offers a glimpse into the past, connecting the edicule's architectural development with the history of the Roman Empire. As the results emerge, they bring a pleasant surprise to those studying the sacred monument, with the dating of the edicule's lower slab standing as evidence of the ongoing search for historical truth. Once silent witnesses to ancient craftsmanship, the mortar samples now reveal insights that enhance our understanding of Emperor Constantine's journey and the individuals who shaped the sacred sanctuary of Jesus' tomb. Scientists used an advanced method called optically stimulated luminescence, OSL, to date the sacred mortar samples from the edicule, allowing them to determine when quartz sediment, crucial to the mortar, was last exposed to light. This technique is significant because it accurately unveils details of time. The mortar samples underwent thorough examination at 2 separate laboratories, each contributing independently to the quest for clarity about the timeline. Using OSL, the researchers aimed to uncover the history stored in the quartz sediment. By studying how this sediment was exposed to light over time, they gained insights into the periods when the mortar underwent changes. Questions arose about whether the rebuilt church accurately reflected the sacred ground identified by a delegation from Rome 17 centuries earlier. Despite these uncertainties, the church remains a symbol of Jerusalem's enduring spirit, inviting reflection and investigation into the complex narratives of faith and historical accuracy. As researchers examined mortar samples taken from the remains of the southern wall of the cave, they began to piece together a historical timeline. Using these samples to the years 335 and 1570, provided a link between construction work from the Roman era and a documented restoration in the 16th century. These echoes of mortar preserved within the structure of the edocule serve as evidence of the enduring history embedded in this sacred space. The southern wall, having witnessed said centuries of change, revealed signs of Roman-era construction, reinforcing the story of how the edocule evolved. Through scientific analysis guided by precise dating methods, researchers were able to decode the chronological imprints left by different builders and restorers. A significant discovery came when they examined the mortar from the tomb entrance, which bore the signature of the 11th century. This aligns with a crucial period in the edocule's history, the careful reconstruction following its destruction in 2009. The findings highlight the resilience of those who worked tirelessly to preserve this sacred space, showing their dedication through careful reconstruction efforts during the 11th century. The careful examination of these fragments not only helped determine their age, but also paid homage to the skill and dedication of those who, throughout the centuries, contributed to the ongoing restoration of the edocule. Another place suggested as Jesus' burial site is the Tomb of the Shroud, located in the Kidron Valley. Its historical authenticity is debated, but it gained attention because it's near the Garden of Gethsemane and is linked to a tradition about Joseph of Arimathea. The tomb is carved out of rock, a common style for tombs in ancient Judea. It's thought to be significant because it might be connected to the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion and burial. Tradition says it's called the Shroud Tomb because an ancient burial shroud or cloth was found there. While some traditions believe the Shroud Tomb is indeed connected to Joseph of Arimathea, who, according to the New Testament, gave Jesus a tomb after his crucifixion, others doubt this claim. His limited archaeological evidence supporting the idea that the Tomb of the Shroud is where Jesus was buried, and experts have different opinions on its historical accuracy. Despite the uncertainties, people are attracted to this site because of its religious significance and the mysteries surrounding its connection to Jesus' burial. It's still considered an important part of the rich tapestry of traditions and beliefs about where Jesus was laid to rest. The Dominus Flavit Church is another spot some traditions link to Jesus' burial, although it's not widely believed to be the actual tomb. Located on the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem, it offers a stunning view of the Old City. Its name means the Lord wept in Latin, commemorating the tradition that Jesus cried over Jerusalem from this spot. Designed by Italian architect Antonio Barlucci, the church is shaped like a teardrop to symbolize Jesus' tears. Its unique architecture and panoramic vista make it a fascinating stop for visitors exploring Jerusalem's sacred sites. Next to the Dominus Flavit Church is a rock-cut tomb that has some traditions associated with Joseph of Arimathea, the man who, according to tradition, provided Jesus with a tomb after his crucifixion. Although Dominus Flavit Church isn't as famous as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, it still holds spiritual importance on the Mount of Olives, a site connected to many events in the Bible. While it's not widely accepted as Jesus' actual burial place, the church remains a meaningful spot filled with history, beautiful architecture, and the religious stories from Jesus' time. The tomb of the Virgin Mary and the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea are also believed by some to be potential burial places of Jesus. The tomb of the Virgin Mary located in the Kidron Valley, is traditionally associated with Jesus' mother's burial. Pilgrims and visitors are drawn to this site, believing it holds significance in Christian history, even though historical evidence supporting its connection to Mary is limited. People are attracted to this tomb because of their respect for Mary and the stories passed down in Christian tradition. Joseph of Arimathea, mentioned in the New Testament, is known for providing his tomb for Jesus' burial. The exact location of Joseph's tomb varies among different beliefs. Some say it's in the Kidron Valley, while others point to different places. These differing claims add to the mystery surrounding the search for where Joseph was laid to rest after his significant role in Jesus' burial. Both tombs are surrounded by religious devotion and history, offering believers a chance to connect spiritually as they explore them. The stories connected to these sites are woven into the broader fabric of the Christian faith, inviting both pilgrims and historians to delve into the tales passed down over generations. The search for the exact location where Jesus was buried continues to intrigue those interested in the historical and spiritual aspects of his burial. In 2017, a team of experts embarked on an ambitious project to restore the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This site is revered by Christians as the place where Jesus was crucified, buried, and resurrected. The church has a complex history, having undergone multiple renovations and alterations over the centuries, which makes it a subject of fascination for historians, archaeologists, and believers alike. The main aim of the restoration project was to strengthen the edicule, a small shrine that houses the tomb of Jesus within the church. The edicule itself has been repaired and renovated numerous times since it was built in the early 19th century. Over time, the structure began to show signs of decay, including cracks in its marble walls and instability in its foundation. To ensure the preservation of this sacred site, experts carefully planned and executed a restoration. As they worked on reinforcing the edicule, the team of specialists made an unexpected and remarkable discovery. While delicately removing the marble covering from the tomb's inner chamber, they uncovered a previously sealed chamber within the tomb itself. This hidden chamber had been untouched and hidden for centuries, completely forgotten until now. The revelation astonished the archaeological community and added a new layer of mystery to the history of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. It appeared that the sealed chamber had been closed off during a renovation of the edicule in 1555, a fact that had been lost over time. Although the newly discovered chamber didn't contain any human remains or significant artifacts, its presence highlighted the ever-changing nature of the church and the layers of history concealed beneath its sacred walls. Archaeologists and historians were quick to realize the significance of this discovery. It highlighted the continuous effort to uncover the mysteries surrounding the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Some suggest that this tomb could be where Jesus, Mary, and potentially other family members were laid to rest. However, scholars vigorously argue over the authenticity and meaning of these inscriptions. Skeptics point out that names like Yeshua, or Jesus, and Mariamani, or Mary, were common during that time, making such combinations statistically likely. The translation of Mariamani Amara as Mary, known as the Master, is also open to various interpretations. Despite the controversy, the Talpiot tomb remains a topic of investigation in biblical archaeology. While it hasn't definitively been linked to Jesus' burial, it contributes to the ongoing exploration of historical and archaeological aspects of Jesus' life and death. The quest to uncover the secrets of his final resting place continues, captivating scholars and believers alike. What are your thoughts on the discovery of the tomb of Jesus? Let us know your opinion in the comments